ready for your questions.
Luke, we talked earlier about the multiple tight end room and having multiple sets where there's multiple tight ends. One of the things I was interested in is that sometimes the opposing defenses can tell when a certain tight end personnel is in its run, when another's in its pass. Do you feel like your tight end room is versatile enough that opposing defenses will not be able to tell whether it's run or pass, that you guys are hybrid enough to do both?
Well, yes, sir. That's the goal. And that's kind of what we worked on over this offseason, is just for everybody to, some of our weaker points, strengthen those, and some of our strengths, continue to build upon those. So, yeah, we're very versatile. We're very deep. We're a very mature room. So I think that's going to be very attainable for us to be a versatile offense and for us to not be a very easily picked off offense as well.
Second row, left side.
Hey, Luke, what do you think were some of the main strides you guys made in the spring? I know it was kind of interesting settling in with a new offense, getting a bunch of pieces in there, but what are the biggest steps you guys think you took? And you as an offensive leader, kind of what are you setting the table for to grow in fall camp?
Yeah, so the first thing, like you said, learning a new offense is always a challenge. I've learned a few now, and some younger guys don't really understand how to go about that, the best way to go about that. So I think just learning the offense at a good pace, learning it and refining our new techniques and everything that goes with that. We've done that this summer, last spring, and also, like you said, off field. I mean, we've had a bunch of transfers, a bunch of recruits come in and join this team. So being able to build relationships with those guys, get to know them, get to know their story, their why. That's been a huge part of our off-season program so far.
Left side, fourth row.
Dan Peck, ESPN 106.7 in Auburn. Luke, what can you say about newly arrived transfer quarterback Peyton Thorne?
Yeah, I think Peyton's an incredible leader. He's a really good guy. I've gotten to know him on a personal level. I really like his leadership qualities that he brings. He's got that savvy quarterback demeanor that you look for in a quarterback. And he's somebody that I think will help us one way or another. He'll help us in our strides this year.
Second row.
Luke, I think the last year, the game against Texas A&M, the atmosphere, though everybody was playing for Coach Williams, I think that was just a really cool moment. And I mean, I want to hear your perspective of it, being there, being a part of it.
Absolutely. That year had been very disappointing up until then with the way that we wanted it to go. It did not. And to just arrive there at that Tiger Walk to see that many screaming fans in orange and blue was something that I mentioned to a couple of you already earlier. I still get chills thinking about it. And it's something that you don't get very many places, and it's why I love this place. It's why I am so blessed and honored to represent Auburn today and hopefully every day.
Back row, left side.
Hey, Luke, Jamal Kennedy, WSFA 12 Sports in Montgomery, Alabama. Just speaking with a couple of Auburn players so far this offseason, they seem really excited about Coach Freeze and kind of how he's brought a new energy to the locker room. From your perspective, what can you say about the way that either you guys are talking, what you guys are talking about, or how things are kind of, if they're different now in that locker room?
Absolutely. I've mentioned this multiple times today, but we are very focused in the moment. We are very focused on the process and each day, day in and day out, getting better. We're not looking ahead or looking behind. We are focused each day on that team meeting, that lift, that run, whatever it may be. And that's something that I think Coach Freeze has brought. That's something that us as leaders have kind of established. And I'm really excited about that because I think that we're really getting some quality work in this summer and spring and just leading up to the season. I'm really excited.
Third row, left side.
Luke, it's been an interesting past 2 years at Auburn. Ups and downs, Brian Harsin and then Cadillac, a lot of off-the-field stuff. To have Hugh Freeze in the room now, is it a sigh of relief for you as a veteran on this team to kind of just focus on football?
Absolutely. When you can just focus on football and focus on leading your team, that's always a positive for me. And as somebody who wants to be that pivotal leader on this team, that's something that I find great joy in, just knowing that we have a solid foundation. We have a very transparent team, a very open team, a very relationship-driven team. So that's something that's really been good for me.
Second row, left side.
Hey, Luke, Jeff Spiegel, ABC 3340 Birmingham. You mentioned the Texas A&M game and Cadillac. How much do you think he saved the season to some extent, bringing positive energy, and how much of a carryover has that brought into this season?
Yeah, people may not understand how pivotal that was for us. I would argue that this football program, this team, this university, this town has still built off of that moment, off of those games, off of that energy, and that's what we're going to take into next season. That kind of energy, that kind of unity is something that you build on, hopefully for years to come. So it's been huge.
Second row.
Luke, you mentioned all the different offenses you've been a part of. I wonder, just from a football standpoint, can you compare what you guys maybe were running last season to what you guys are trying to run right now, just from a schematic standpoint? What are kind of the things you've noticed?
Yeah, I mean, in college football, it's such a copycat league that there are so many overlapping qualities in each offense. Obviously, we saw a lot more under center, huddle, pro style stuff out of Coach Harsin, and you still get that kind of pro style out of Coach Freeze's offense and Coach Montgomery's offense. But obviously, being able to spread people out and just being the most versatile team, that's huge for us. We want to be in multiple different formations, lined up in multiple different spots, and just attack defenses where they least expect it.
Front row.
Chris Farblin, KCOU 88.FM in Columbia. So you've been at Auburn for a long time now. You played under Coach Malzahn, Coach Harsin, now Coach Freeze. Can you just compare their leadership styles and how they go about leading that locker room?
Yeah, absolutely. I think all three of them are very different people personally, but that's good that I've gotten to know three of them personally. That's something that in college football, getting to know people, getting to know their background, like I said, with our players, it's no different for coaches. They're people too. So definitely three great leaders, three different leaders. Coach Malzahn always was a little quieter, but once you got to know him and once you understood what he stood for and how much he cared for you, then that was what it was, and that was your relationship. And same thing with Coach Harsin. Coach Harsin was more outgoing than people think, and I give him props for that. I got to know him as well, and same way with Coach Freeze. Coach Freeze is always a positive energy, a positive light in the meeting room, and that's something that's really refreshing for everybody, and I've appreciated all three of those guys learning under them.
Right side.
Daryl Dapprich, Locked On Auburn. I know that you guys are supposed to block out off the field things, but when you talk about atmosphere and electricity in the previous question, what does it mean to you and your teammates when you get wind that Auburn set a record for season tickets as far as selling out? I know that trickles down to you. Does that get you guys pretty fired up to play in the upcoming season? Absolutely. And I'm a college football junkie, so I always have been since I was just a little ball boy for my dad's high school football team. So I love going to different away games. I love playing in the whiteout. I love playing in the swamp. I love playing in Baton Rouge and doing all these different things. So whenever I see that the greatest atmosphere, in my opinion, in college football is going to be even better, that's music to my ears.
Two final questions right here, and then we'll go in the back.
Hey, Luke, Jake Stansel, WBRC in Birmingham. I just wanted to kind of talk more about Cadillac and just the energy he brought last season. How cool is it to have him still a part of this team and help this offense grow now under Hugh Freeze?
Yeah, you guys saw, I mean, he was used to having the spotlight on him as a player, and whenever you saw when he had the spotlight on him as a coach, you saw that positive energy. You saw that just positive light, that positive outlook on everything in life, and that was something that energized us. It motivated us, and that's something that he brings every single day. We've got a really good running back room. Really, really good running back room. Not only good group of players, but good group of guys, and that trickles down from his leadership for sure, and how he looks at every day as an opportunity.
Final question, left side, back row.
Sorry. Just to piggyback off of that, how important was it to keep Cadillac around, knowing what he means to that university and what he meant to that football team last year?
Oh, yeah. I mean, people are going to be pretty upset if you get rid of Cadillac Williams. I know I would be. But Coach Lack, he's an incredible man, incredible ambassador for the school, has been for a long time. And people with orange and blue in their blood, they want to see him around forever. So that was definitely important for our success.
Luke, great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.